So I did most of this project before I started really filming for YouTube, but today I'm going to revisit the fuel system after the carburetor swap, because when I first did the carburetor swap, I just kind of got everything buttoned up to where it was working, not really optimized at all. And then my rear main seal went out and I just decided to pull the motor and change all the oil seals, and kind of forgot that I had a lot of work to do. It wasn't until the distributor started acting up, because I bought a really cheap distributor and it broke, I realized that a lot of other stuff wasn't really where it was supposed to be. So while I'm waiting for that distributor to come in, I'm just going to kind of button things up and also kind of go over, if you want to do a carburetor swap on the old 90s Ford EFI systems, it should be pretty much the same if it's got a 351 or a 302. You just need to change that intake manifold. That's the biggest thing to fit the carburetor, and then most of the other stuff is pretty simple. As far as fuel delivery goes, though, this is what I got going on. So this was one of the dual tank setups. I could have ordered a nicer fuel pressure regulator. There's a special one that interfaces perfectly with the stock fuel system. It can take I think it's like up to 60 psi and regulate it down to 5 for the carburetor. That way you just leave all your stock fuel system in there. You hook up the sending line to the regulator, and then you get your line going to the carb and the return line. That way when you flip your switch, it just switches the tanks and everything still works the way it's supposed to. I kind of left it so that I could still go back to that if I wanted to, but the way I have it set up now is I have my 7 to 9, I think, PSI fuel pump, just a little Edelbrock electric one, down in the frontmost tank, and that's going straight to the regulator. And then I took the stock fuel pump and hooked that up to the rear tank and have that going in as a transfer pump to the return line on the front tank. And then the return line is just plugged up for now, like I said. Eventually I'm going to run a return regulator, and then I'm going to have to hook all that crap back up. But I just have that transfer pump on a separate switch, and the only thing this switch does is change the gauge to read which tank the level on each tank. So while I'm using that transfer pump, I could use that. Not great, because you don't really want your stock pump running 100% of the time. It's like a 30% duty cycle usually, I think. But what I'm doing today is I'm going to plumb in a regulator right here, because before I had a gauge right here, and that wasn't doing anything because it was away from the pressurized side, so I couldn't really tell while it was running what the pressure was. I could only read what the pressure from the pump was. So that didn't really make a whole lot of sense, and I understand that now. I'm just going to cut this line right about here and put in a little T-fitting so I can run my gauge up here. And then I'm going to go ahead and set the fuel pressure properly while it's running with all that in where it's supposed to be. Should make things easier. I'm also, while I'm here, going to go ahead and remove the choke from the doghouse and put it somewhere fixed so that I don't have to disconnect it every single time I want to take off the doghouse, because that's been kind of annoying. And then I'm also gonna mount these little cigarette lighters up somewhere. I don't know where, but this isn't really much of a specific how-to or anything. Oh shoot, the kickdown linkage too, I need to hook that up. I forgot to hook that back up when I put the motor in, if I could find it. Yeah, it's right here. So the transmission kickdown, I also need to hook that up because that's not there. I've just been kind of shifting it manually through gears. So I'm just going to kind of button things up and let you guys watch. Like I said, I'm just kind of winging it here, doing stuff. So we'll see how this goes. Well, after hitting it with some glass cleaner and a polishing scrubber thingy, this is the best I could do. So what I decided to do instead was just cut out a piece of a welding lens that is for a helmet I don't use anymore. And now I got a nice little, pretty clear protective piece. So a little thinner, but it pinches it when you press the bezel back on, so it works just fine. Set the camera up, kind of back out of the way so I don't keep bumping into you. You probably won't be able to see much of what I'm doing from where you're at, but hopefully it's somewhat of a view. Probably get a good look at my ass most of the time, but oh well. Okay, so where is my T-fittings? I think I'm going to go with the 1/2-inch one. I'm pretty sure this is 3/8 line, but it'll have to do. Maybe I can mount this up somewhere better, too. I'm going to get gasoline everywhere, so maybe I should put some towels down. Because there was pressure in this line just minutes ago, so. Got you at a little better of an angle now. I went and grabbed my hose clamps so I can fix it to the doohickey here. This is real low pressure stuff, so I'm not too concerned with how tight these are. Having the skinny ones, they like to strip sometimes, the little notches, because they're, like I said, it's real thin, but I don't need them super tight. Low pressure, so. Yeah, this one probably doesn't even need to be clamped. I mean, I'm gonna clamp it just because it'd be dumb not to, but. Ow, that hurt. Mostly because it's cold. Damn. Barely wants to go in there. Alright, well, I got it plumbed in. I just don't know if this length will work or this location. So I'm going to go ahead and set it about where I want it and turn on the fuel pump and see if that gives me any reading with it being this far out of the way of everything else. I definitely can cut the hose shorter, but I just want to test worst case scenario here. Stays at 2. Wonder if I bring it down lower, if that'll change the reading here. It most certainly does. It's at about 4. Yeah, and the lower I get it, the higher it goes. So I think that this is just too long of a freaking. Try firing it up, see if it goes okay like this. That's the wrong key. Oh shit, I don't have a choke. This is gonna be a pain in the ass. Let's see if I can do it without a choke. Fuel going in there. Put that in there just as like another emergency shut off, but okay, so let me start sticking around with the regulator. We're staying steady at 4. I'm gonna go a little higher. pressure seems to be stable at 5.5, so I'll keep it there. I don't really want to go to 6. It says 5 to 7, so 6 should be okay. So my fuel pressure was way low, actually. I thought it was too high, but I don't imagine low. Figure out what I'm gonna do from there. Now, I'm wondering how bad it is for these to be resting here uninsulated, just right against the manifold, because I know that it's just a deadhead system. It's not a return system, so I don't know how much that's gonna hurt things. We'll see, I guess, but that red thing's supposed to be there. That's for my accelerator pump. But there's no leaks, so that's good. It's fucking low ass pressure. There shouldn't be any leaks, but yeah. So I'm gonna go put the choke, and I'll consider that done for the fuel system on this carburetor, I guess. And then that way I have the adjustability on this regulator. This is just a Spectre regulator from off the shelf at AutoZone, you know. I think I got it at AutoZone. Maybe it was Baxter. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, you can get one of the. Oh, wrong way. Okay, so I don't really know if you can see this. Let me check. The steering column. That's where I'm gonna put the fuel pressure gauge right here. Now I'm making a really special mount, guys, for this, and you should feel very privileged to know how I'm doing this, because this is some pretty proprietary stuff, and I really want you guys to promise me that you're not going to copy it, okay? But the way I'm mounting this up, like I said, very, very special. Yeah. Promise me you're not going to copy this, okay? Or try to sell this idea to anybody. Because this did take a lot of research and development to come up with. Maybe you feel inclined to ask, hey, with an analog gauge like that, doesn't that mean you're actually getting fuel pressure right there? And doesn't that then mean that if something fails, you could potentially have fuel spraying right in your face? Yes to both of those. I don't have a solution. I was just letting you know that if that's what you're asking, you're right. Your question's valid. I'm not gonna give you a real solution to that. Like I said, I just thought you might want to know. The weather app on my phone says it's 33 degrees right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and cold start this puppy real quick. Fuel pressure's good. Pull the choke. I had to save it a little bit with the gas pedal, but that's not bad. And the fuel pressure is still looking perfect. It's not creeping up anymore, so I guess that regulator you get off the shelf at AutoZone is okay, at least for the time being. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the content, please leave a like and subscribe. And other than that, please enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you guys found this helpful, and I'm going to be adding more videos to this series of me carburetor swapping that 90s Ford EFI. So stay tuned if that's something you're interested in doing. Unfortunately, I didn't record me actually doing it in the first place, so I don't have the actual on the scene immediately videos, but I'm definitely going to be going back through and revisiting everything anyways, so I will be recording that. And, yeah, stick around if that's something you guys are looking forward to. Otherwise, have a good rest of your day and God bless.